What's up, everybody? Jackson here, today with my little brother Chubbs.
Hello, everyone.
And today we're going to be continuing our playthrough of Dark Souls Remastered. Sorry, Repatchered. Let's see here. So we just got back from the Undead Asylum last time, and now we're going to dump all our stats into not attunement. Not attunement.
There you go.
Yeah, but I kind of want to
have them level.
Yeah, I want to have them equal. So endurance will determine our overall equip load and roll speed, as well as our stamina bar, and our vitality will control our health bar. And also, I think, every level gives you defense. If you notice that over there, all the defenses go up with every soul level.
Yeah.
Basically, what we're doing is pumping up our health and stamina now that we've got enough strength and dex to wield the Black Knight Greatsword. And you know what? We actually might have enough for... Let's see what we got in here. Yeah, we got some souls in here too.
There's some souls.
It's like, why do you close my menu still? I can't remember whose video I watched, but he was like doing a comparison, and he was like, so why did you make it better? I can use multiple at once, but it still like closes out my menu. It may have even been Jim Sterling, I can't remember, but a video I was watching around the time that this came out,
yeah.
Well, look, I had another humanity too, and I'm still fucking hollow. You know why I didn't do that is because we were at the Undead Asylum and I figured I was gonna die, so I kind of cheated my own system, but whatever.
Okay.
Usually I like to use the humanity to stay human for as long as possible.
Right.
As long as humanly possible.
As long as humanly. You'll go there.
Alright, so now that we've done that, we've basically beaten the game already. We have all the tools now to make this journey extremely easy. And that's why I love this game, is like an hour or so of gameplay. And that's slow. Like, other people who are masters of the game, true masters of the game, will be able to get like all the way down in the catacombs and get their, scythe and get Vamos to bless it, and like there's all sorts of other things you can do, especially like pyromancers and sorcerers. They're gonna all start with something different, but as like a strength, brute character
with miracles and faith.
And what I've done, like, through my own thing. I just love this sword.
Which I've done a variant of this build before, but I've pumped a lot more into the faith, and I went with a different sword so that I could equip the Blessed Blade weapon buff on it.
Yeah, because that's the thing about these Dark Knight weapons. That's how they balance them out. So they can only +5 for starters, and then on top of that, you can't buff them.
And I'm not boss weapons. I'm pretty sure
I should
the
show
same
them.
way.
Just in case you don't, I'm gonna do this way just because I want to show you how to do it this way as well. But just before that, I'm gonna show you real quick a little snipey trick here. You can come back here and line up shots on this caster up here. I think they're called channelers, but they're douchebags. And you can just snipe him, but as you can see, it takes a lot of time and can be taxing, but it's the safer option. But I'm going to show you how to do it as a melee, but the thing is that I would recommend you build some decks and you build a ranged secondary. Like, I will be using my bow in several places. In this case, I can do this without using my bow, so I'm going to show you how to do it without using your bow. But if you do not want to deal with this, because what happens is he's actually being weird.
He's coming for you.
Yeah, but what he's doing is he's buffing them.
He makes them do way more damage.
But that's okay, because we got shields and we got all sorts of goodies that this guy doesn't expect us to have right now. And that's why I'm doing it also like this. If you come here a little early, like, you see that shit? Done, son.
Just crunch.
I'm a holy cleric, you undead fucking scum. What are you going to do? Nothing. You're going to die.
With the blessed sword of the Black Knight.
I will use my enemy's strengths against them. fucking bakas. So just gonna grab. But that little encounter right there, there's others that are similarly where a bow can be used to that extent that I will probably be using the bow.
Right.
And it's not to say that I can't do it without using the bow, but it's just like, why wouldn't I use the bow?
It's a safer option.
And that's the thing
not?
about, you'll hear a lot of Souls players and within the Souls community, they have a sort of snobbish attitude towards what they consider to be cheese. Here's the thing that I think about Dark Souls and the Souls games in general, Bloodborne, all of them, every single one. If it works and it keeps you alive and kills your enemy, then it is not cheese nor cheap.
It is efficient.
Okay, this is Lotric. He's a little prick. We're gonna let him out. The first time with this guy. So this guy, you let him out and he like thanks you and he says he'll meet you at Firelink later to give you a reward for helping him. But the tricky little fucker in actuality is setting up a plan to kill your Firekeeper, the Firekeeper of Firelink. I don't know if she's necessarily yours, but I know that Firelink Shrine is considered incredibly important within the Pilgrim's journey, which is, you know...
Right.
So, like, for in basic essence, it's your Firekeeper because you're the player character.
Yeah.
So he does that, and he's a prick, and we're going to kill him later. I'm going to show you a very easy way to kill him. He's not very hard, and I could probably just kill him now. I'm just going to kill him now.
Kill him now?
Look up how to kick Lotric off Firelink Shrine. Come on, Lotric. Come on. Come on, bud. Come on, buddy. Come on down here. Let me get that goddess ring.
Them curved swords.
Yeah, you just want to get him out where you can see a little bit. Oh, God.
They go behind shields, dude. Watch out.
Oh, God. Lotric just fucked me up,
Yeah,
chumps.
they go behind shields. That's their whole shtick with those weapons. That's why they're curved. Is they swing behind the shield and still get you.
I should know that. I never used that weapon, but I should know that. Shit, I guess I should have held on to one humanity, huh?
It's all good.
So is he come here now?
He is a golden god.
Is he near here now?
I don't know.
Because he killed me? I've never died to him there. I usually kill him no problem.
I think when you aggro an NPC, he will be there.
I hope he's
and
there
aggroed
still, because I
always.
want to kill him
Because
before
that was
he
the
kills
thing
my
about.
Firekeeper.
That was one thing about.
And I really like his ring.
Right, but that was one thing about the Solaire NPC guide that I was looking up, is that was a way that you could potentially stop him from dying.
Solaire?
Yeah, if you attacked him at this point and aggroed him, then he would remain there and constantly be aggroed to the player character. Yeah.
So you just save his life, but he hates you? That's cool.
Mm-hmm.
That's very fitting for the stories and characters and the way things play out in this game.
Right.
I should have known that. I should have pulled him out into that bigger room. I
That's
was
all good.
panicking.
It's all good.
I lost my cool, man.
He is a golden god.
He's a golden prick, and he shall die.
He's gonna die in his gold fucking
He shall
lace
die.
armor. Fall to dash.
This fucking guy. He drops some. He doesn't drop anything.
They drop
And the
some
cool
pretty
thing
cool
about
stuff.
that sorcerer, the channeler, is he doesn't respawn, so you just gotta deal with these little guys again. And unlike Dark Souls 2, they're all really weak.
Yeah.
Dark Souls 2 is like, and Dark Souls 3 for that fucking matter.
It's like 20 of them, and it takes
And they all
5
take
hits
5
to kill.
hits. Unless you've played in 2 other friends' games and collected souls from 2 other bosses of every single boss that you've killed.
Yep.
You get them, they all get in this awkward swing setup and you can't safely chip away.
Yeah.
But that's pretty easy. These guys are easy. You just knuckle up and hit them when you can. And that's why, if you're not using a shield, like, hats off, but I don't know why you wouldn't. Like, there's shields, they exist. Like, that's what I love about that Mauler series, when he says that.
Yeah.
Because it's so
Like,
true.
why
Like
would
I
you
was
not?
talking about earlier with cheese. Like,
Well, it's like, exactly.
It's
what you were
about
saying
your
with the bow,
survival,
it's in the
right?
game. Why would you not use it? The great bow is in the game. If you're a strength character, why would you not give it a shot?
yep, he's still here.
If you're a dex character and you saw that weapon,
Oh, God.
Might want to give it a
He's
shot.
fucking hitting me pretty hard right now. This little bitch.
Yeah.
I whiffed him.
Ha 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 ha. Yeah.
He's still alive?
Yeah.
No.
He's beefy, man. He's got gold armor, but he's fat.
He's got gold armor, but he's fat. He's also a prick. He seriously legit kills your firekeeper like a dick.
And then you have to.
Hey, you see him like I have to go to my humanity and I have to use him by that.
It works out.
Did I ever go talk to motherfucking Solar?
I'm not sure if you did, to be honest.
I don't think I ever went and talked to Solar.
Because you did that dragon part.
Yeah.
I don't think you did.
Oh, that's interesting.
Huh.
Well,
good.
Should I? I should go talk to him because I think once you kill the gargoyles, he
Isn't it funny that
fucks
everybody relates to him and loves him? As
I love
character?
him because he's super useful. I mean,
Yeah.
I really genuinely don't.
I
think
just
I
find
need
it
him right
funny
now
that
on
it's
the
like
gargoyles.
his popularity is the most successful among all the characters in the game, and it's like all the online...
Well, I think that's why, because he's an optimistic character. He's a very cool character.
But he's like
He
in
is-
hell by the end of it, and
Yeah, but
driven mad.
that's the cool ass thing about Solaire, is he is ever the hopeful optimist. He believes in the gods and their path, and then once he finds out that it's all been a shallow shell of a game just to selfishly prolong their own existence,
Right.
and it's after he also gets one of those things on his head, which I think maybe those things can take over you if you're hollowed to a point of weakness.
Right.
I'm not sure, but...
I just thought it was curious that was a thing.
Well, I can totally see the love for Solaire, though. Like,
Well, yeah, but
I
mean,
love that character. That character is a cool character. And there's also that,
Out
like
of
I
all
said,
the-
it's like the fall of faith,
It's
man.
like what I said, though. It's like out of all the characters, though, I just found
It's
it
also-
peculiar that his character was the most popular with all of the people.
Well, I'm sure most of them don't understand these things, and it's just because he's a meme generator in actuality of why he's popular with them. But what I'm saying also is you could draw parallels to him and the loss of childhood innocence and childhood,
yeah, absolutely.
like imagination
All of
and
the
being and
characters are
believing
like
in
that.
all miraculous things like gods and that they love you and they're benevolent. And,
all of the characters in this game are all kind of like that. The ones that you run into, anyway, that have like a quest line.
Jesus, those archers back there just got free range for days.
There's not many.
That aren't there. He is the
Like
optimist.
quest lines, like I mean,
here's-
NPCs that the character can come across.
Let's
Let's think
not
about
many
it. There's
that are.
Solaire, there's the onion
Siegmeyer.
guy, yeah, and then there's
There's Vinheim or whatever his name is.
I guess there's the
There is a
sorcery
lot.
dude,
There's
and
a lot.
there's
There's
the
the guy- yeah.
pyromancy dude,
Laurentia. There's
and
a
then
lot.
there's
Dude.
the daughter,
And Laurentia is another
What
one,
is her
and I
name?
think that's his name. If I'm saying that wrong, we're gonna find out soon when we're in the depths. But
yeah. But then
these
there's
little suckers.
also the
Cut that out, guy.
pyromancy chick who's like the daughter of Izalith or some shit.
Okay, at this point, you just need to run because this fucking stupid fucking dragon comes, and here he comes.
Fucking dragon.
Here he comes. I hope he doesn't kill
fucking
me.
Dragon.
Oh god.
Oh, fucking dragon.
That's why I rested that fire though, because I was like, if that dragon shows up, I want to be able to homeward bone. I don't even know if I have any homeward bones. Did I
Do
pick
you have
of
any
those up?
homeward bones, dude? You
Yeah, I
got
got a couple. They throw you a couple.
Yeah.
They throw you a couple of homeward bones.
Fucking bones.
Solaire is a character that in the beginning, as we'll find out as we talk to him, is very hopeful. Don't far from it, my face. An adherent of the Lord of Sunlight. Yeah, he's like what you would call a crusader in the name of Lord Gwyn, and like this way of white that's been left behind is kind of a legacy journey for the undead.
Right.
To you know, take up that flame and go on this crusade. And I mean, like, even when you first meet him, he's just like looking to the light, like just with his shoulders squared, head pulled back. Like, this is a dude who's an optimist, who's like, we found the sun, like,
Has
this is
faith
a nice
in the
place,
gods.
yeah, and we're gonna make it, like, everything's gonna be okay. They care. And he's also, he will, if you, throughout your journey, you will find his summon sign if
And
you know where
that's
to look for it.
thing,
Yeah.
yeah.
And he's a very helpful NPC to summon. I
there's-
personally, I will be summoning him for Ornstein and Smough. I've soloed Ornstein and Smough enough times that I know I can, but it's tricky. And I personally have the option to summon Solaire because he's my buddy. And so I summon him to help me.
Yeah.
And I see nothing wrong in that. I feel
It's
like...
evening the odds.
Yeah, and he's put there for a reason early on, and the player is free to kill him, and it makes that fight harder because now you don't have your friend, you know? Mm-hmm. And that's why I like Solaire, and I like his journey, because I feel like it's a beautifully poetic thing that kind of happens in very few, you know, encounters with him, but it's portrayed as what it is one hopeful crusader's descent into darkness and, you know,
Madness,
despair and madness.
And understanding that the faith that he had placed was
And he ends up in the dark,
hollow.
alone in the dark.
Hollow. And he goes hollow, alone in the dark.
That's
in a
why
hellish environment surrounded
I
by
love
demons. But he is an undead, and he's like a faithful undead, and he's like devout, and you could pretty much draw a lot of comparisons between him and a lot of religious people.
I guess I didn't need to do
But
that.
another thing that I do is because
Because there
but I
is the
draw
downfall of religion,
comparisons.
but I don't even think it's necessarily that.
But I
mean,
draw
it doesn't-
comparisons with him and myself, whereas
Yeah.
like for me, when I think about religion, I want to believe that one of them is true, but at the same time, I'm not sure.
I don't know that we would ever be able to truly know. Because the thing about that is, even if God at one point, if there is a God, and let's say that at one point he was in contact with humanity and was laying out these rules that are meant to get us back into his kingdom and his good graces and live blessed lives or whatever. I think that over the years, humanity will have corrupted it, and it will have been turned into something. And that's the truly great thing still about religion, that I don't think you'll find many people who will argue against this, is it is responsible for a lot of horrendous shit, true. But it's also responsible for a lot of the great redeeming moments in humanity's and America's and the world's history.
You have to be honest about it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And that's really where the learning lesson of history comes from, is learning the truth. The honest truth.
And that's why I love Dark Souls 2, is because that is a huge theme in the game, is that truth gets lost and truth becomes what those in power want it to be.
Yep.
Like I was talking earlier about Seath the Scaleless, and my theory about him usurping the throne, I think that because I view him as like the character Seath that we're introduced to is during that opening cutscene. And he is a dragon who's willing to turn on his own kind and sacrifice all of his own kind so that he can gain power not only from Gwen's soul, but also from the crystals, which only appeared once the fire appeared. So until that point, Seath was probably, you know, he was probably doomed to die. As we're told, the mortality within the dragons come from their scales. And by being able to rip their scales off under the lightning and other things that they knew weakened to them because Seath the Scaleless had told them about it, that, like, he would probably have grown old and died. But he's been able to find sustainment through the crystals, vis-a-vis through the fire. So he has every interest in seeing us complete our mission. However, the question is in his mind, does he believe that we'll be able to complete the mission without his soul? Or is it like an understanding that at some point, yeah, I've got to die, but then
I've
they
gotta
all
give
fight
up my
you
soul
anyway?
to kindle the flame.
Because that's the thing.
Because that's another thing is like, why do you...
Oh, you know what I gotta do? I gotta bounce down to... I'm gonna bounce down to dude and upgrade my thing and pop humanity and...
And I'm sure there's probably a description or something that clears this up, but like, why... Shit, I'm losing my train of thought there.
You're good. About Seath? Because if my theory is true, then Seath does want us to succeed. But at the same time, it feels almost like he's trying to stop you.
Oh, that's what I was gonna ask. Like, why would the player character need to gather all of these souls to begin with?
Because they have to put them in, and that's true. And another thing is you have to place the Lord Vessel to gain access to those bosses that you need to kill in order to offer their souls up in order to access the kiln to burn yourself if you go under Framp's guidance.
Right.
So, the question... I'm not going to do that yet. Let's go level this up first.
But that's one thing is like some sort of ritual about collecting these great powerful souls and absorbing them into your being. And if that's the case, if that's how it works, then C definitely knew that had to happen in order for the kindling to keep going.
Well, here's the very interesting thing about that is that you do not consume their souls. You offer their souls up to the Lord Vessel in order to unlock the kiln.
That is true.
So the question I have is, was there maybe possibly a coup between the three against Lord Gwyn? Because the appearance of the world at this point in time, it appears to me that Seath the Scaleless has usurped power of Anor Londo. I think that a very strong argument could be made about that when you consider that he is, that Gwendolyn, who is the apparent power in Anor Londo, the one that all the knights are serving and protecting because they're all leading up to her, and once you kill Ornstein and Smaug, you gain... And this is Andre, he's one of the blacksmiths. Chubbs has looked up more about the blacksmiths and stuff. We'll get into that in a minute, but... Do you want to get into that now? Because we got all the time in the world to talk about Seath.
Later.
We got all the
Let's
time
just
in the
say
world
this.
to talk about Anor Londo. We haven't even got there yet. But.
Let me just say this about Andre. He is hammering away, slowly losing his mind and hollowing out, and is completely unaware of his true origins or his destiny within the world.
Yeah.
Which is something that I read online, but that's like the gist of what's happening to him right now.
Well, and wasn't there some sort of thing where one of the gods or someone tried to kill all the blacksmiths?
No, that happens later. We'll get to that after you kill the Moonlight Butterfly.
Okay.
But,
so that's the thing. Like, there's lots of other side characters, and that's why I love Dark Souls. It's
and
like
a lot of these stories that I've read online, a lot of them are like lore theories that are based off descriptions. So I thought it was like a cool little story.
Well, yeah, and that's the thing.
It makes sense that that's why it would be that way, because there's no other reason why those statues exist. And what I'm talking about are the blacksmith statues, the ones that are Andre's character, but they're petrified.
Yeah. Well, I mean, and I love looking at stories or lore videos of Dark Souls. Like, my favorite ones probably are the Hawkshaw, like the war with the demons and things like that.
Right.
Because he makes seriously compelling points, and he does it in this algorithm-friendly way, but my friendly way, where I like a lot of information. I like to digest it. I feel like VaatiVidya takes a concept that you could talk about for a very long time and flesh out and make a better argument for, and he cuts it into like a 12-13 minute video because he knows that that's what the algorithm likes best, if that makes sense. And so that's why, and I don't really like VaatiVidya's videos that much. I didn't like his shameless shelling for Dark Souls and the remaster. I felt like as a community we needed to make a point. I mean, I eventually got it. Yeah, we're playing it right now. But it's been out for a long time, and I got it on a deep, deep sell. So I don't feel bad about it. I feel like my voice was heard and my point was made with this. And, you know, I feel like it's a shame. It's just a damn shame that this is the best way I can experience this game is by giving them more money. when two guys who cared enough about the game and loved the game enough that they did a couple of patches that did almost this exactly, but it was a two-man job.
Yeah.
As opposed to an entire fucking studio, like you were saying yesterday.
Yeah.
And that's the thing, like...
God, the colors just...
Where is his sign? His sign's not here.
It's like vomit.
Is this sign up at the top? Yeah, and you know what? It's so true.
Yeah.
It's like so bright. I feel like all this was a lot...
It's darker in the...
I like that they let me scale my fucking HUD down, dude. Like, that's fucking nice. I wish it didn't scale down my menus.
Right.
I don't know why it scales down my menus, but okay. It's everything or nothing. Like, you can't just scale your bars. Your menu will also be tiny, and you're like, come on. Fucking, I just want the on-screen shit to be tiny because you've developed a gorgeous fucking game here. I want to see as much of it as possible. Up there's San Orlando. It's right up there.
It's up there.
We're pretty close right now, but we got a ways.
Here comes the
The
gargoyles.
gargoyles. This is one of the first real walls the player's going to come up against. This is going to be like the second boss for most people if they're following a progression guide, or just basically if they decide to wander into the Undead Parish before the graveyard or any of the other areas that you can get yourself fucked over in. And this is halfway through the fight, another gargoyle comes in. It's reminiscent of the Man-Eater fight from Demon Souls.
Yeah.
Which was a huge difficulty check and rage quit moment for me in my first playthrough. And then I eventually started another character at a later time and went back through and was able to beat them. And that's the great thing about these hard bosses that are checks. When you come back and you just absolutely fucking destroy them and make them your bitch, because it's no longer, I'm not a scared, timid little bitch anymore. Like, I'm here to brawl. Let's have fun.
Destroy.
Let's play.
Bye. 2 swings. Bye-bye.
Nothing feels that good as far as I'm concerned. That's the sort of feeling that I don't think that you're either going to get or you're not. And if you get it, then you get it. And if you don't, well, fuck you then, man. Go do something that gives you that feeling. Go love something that gives you that feeling. I hope that you can find something that gives you that feeling. Because that feeling right there, that sense of mastery over this game, and the amount of effort and shit that the people who developed this game put in it to make those moments that good, and the foresight they had to make these and be able to balance these things so that they are incredibly punishing and challenging for a first-time experience, but then turn into Nerf ball once you have all the knowledge of the game and the systems and how to build and what to get.
Yep.
I love that about this game and this series. My first experience with that was Bloodborne. I mastered Bloodborne, and
well, especially in a game like this where there's multiple varied builds, so it's like you've been saying this whole time, like, this is just one build and one little teeny branch on a tree that you can go.
Oh yeah, there's so many.
Sorcery, you're going to go be hitting somebody else up and getting a wand and buying some spells right out of the gate. And then pyromancy, you're going to be wanting to immediately go get Laurentius.
Yeah, Laurentia. You're pretty much going to follow this
Lower
same path.
Undead Bird, right?
Hey, what's up, guy?
He's in Lower Undead, or no, that's Vinheim.
And then there's this guy. This guy, so like in the beginning of the game when I killed that shopkeeper, that's a sin. And you'll get sins stacked up, and enemies will actually do interesting things or hit you harder.
It makes the game more difficult.
Yeah, I'm not sure how, but you can request absolution if you want. That's the going rate. I say no, because I don't really care. But I want to know this gesture, because this gesture is the... What? You got a problem? But that's how you can, like, basically that's a way to kill friendly NPCs and get away with it in the eyes of the lords, is to come here to what's his name? Something of Kareem. Let's see, how do you switch it? There we go.
But Velka is the goddess of sin.
I ain't giving you no money, preacher man. I take my sins and I wear them like a badge of honor on my sleeve. Because they make me better. They make me stronger. And they make me able to free a mage who's trapped. Who's also could be a bad guy. I haven't looked too much into him because I've only done one magic build. And I did the magic build because I was doing a full NPC. Well, my first playthrough was magic, but it was not.
Yeah,
it was not
it was
what you.
not.
It was a novice.
You see, for me,
novice magic.
I
build.
tried that Uchigatana magic build, and it just wasn't cutting it for me.
Oh,
so, I
dude.
scrapped it and started over in one magic strength build.
Yeah.
And that shit, I had a lot funner time doing that. But
Where did this guy go? What's up, little fella? Little canary? Where'd you wander off to?
all of the NPCs for the sorceries are pretty cool. I
Yeah.
really like
We'll be going to the one in
Big
a minute.
Hat Logan.
Yeah, Big Hat Logan. That's why I did it, because I was doing a complete NPC quest guide, and to see his quest line through to completion, you have to buy all of his spells anyway.
Every
So
single
that was a later playthrough that I did that, and I still I don't know. I mean, magic it's very impressive with some of those spells and scaling wise from the DLC area.
Right, but there are clearly some enemies that aren't going to get hit by some spells. Like, for example, there's that one that I can't remember what it is. It's a crystal, and it like shoots, and it bursts crystals from the
Speaking of
ground in a
Seawire.
line. Oh yeah, go do that.
Should I talk to him?
Do it.
I don't know. Should I do NPC
He's
stuff?
badass as shit, bro.
I love him. He's one of my favorite NPCs. Is it Siegmeyer or Sigurd in this one? And that's the thing.
Sigurd. I think it's Sigurd. I
They
think
did, like-
Siegmeyer's in Dark Souls 3. They call him the Onion.
The Onion Knight. This is the real Onion Knight, motherfucking Game of Thrones. You don't get that title. Siegmeyer of Katarina gets that title.
Yeah. Is it Siegmeyer?
It's Siegmeyer.
So
I'm
it's
telling you,
Sigurd in
and that's
Dark
another,
Souls
yeah,
3.
Sigurd, I think.
Squidward. That's what his
Squidward.
name is.
I get Squidward in Dark Souls
Squidward.
3.
Yep.
He's cool in Dark Souls 3 too. I really like his arc with the giant. Is the giant Rom? No, that's the vacuous spider.
Jesus. Can't think of it.
Yorm.
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 Jesus. Good call.
Still closed. Still closed.
I was drawing a complete blank on that name.
Squidward.
Fucking Squidward and Yarm.
But it's a cool arc that he
Yarm?
has. How he promises him, like, if you ever hollow out. I'll tell you this, that fucking bonfire looks really good. Bonfire looks exceptionally good compared to the old one. But that's the thing.
It's because they
it's
made
the
it brighter
well,
and they
no,
made the
it's-
colors
They
pop
changed
out
the
more.
effects. They changed the effects. Like, those are all new effects.
Right.
Like the fire and all that shit. And even like the weapon coatings and stuff, they made
Right.
those look a lot better. Alright, so now we're gonna come down in here. We're gonna kill this shit-talking Damon here. He's a fucking Damon.
Tight night,
He's a
Damon.
Matt Damon.
It's Matt
You're
Damon.
gonna roll through that one, get behind him, and give him one of these. Couple of those. You don't want to get grabbed by him. Do not get grabbed by him. If you get grabbed by him, he'll kill you. He will kill you until you're dead. Here's a demon. This is not.
He's a headless goddamn demon.
This is a demon. This isn't an easy enemy. That was a fucking demon.
Tight
Good
night,
thing
Damon.
I'm Dean fucking Winchester, huh, bitch? You red-eyed motherfucker. Go back to hell. Sorry. I was just excited. That guy can kill me. That guy kills me a few times
Yeah.
of them every time.
It's
of 'em.
because all of them have that one-shot ability.
Alright, so the Dark Root Garden's looking really good right now, but there's some area. It's looking a lot better than it was on the 4, bro.
Yeah.
It's looking really bright and green. It's so much brighter.
But it's like
I'm gonna
so
reserve
neon.
judgment. It looks really
I'm
good.
not a fan of that mossy.
Okay, now we're getting
I
into
like the
here.
vegetation.
This is the problem. I'll show you. But I'm gonna go. So normally you just want to continue this way, but since we got this weapon, I want to go get Havel's ring and kill this Hydra down here. So we're just gonna hurry and dip down here. But yeah. I don't know. What do you think? That looks pretty. Look at that water though.
Look at the
popping in and
rocks.
shit.
So, point the camera completely at the rocks. So, like, right out of the gate, I mean, like, directly at the rock.
Like
I mean,
that.
get a big full view. Like, those roots look cool. I like that. But as far as the moss coloring, I feel like it's a little bit too bright. You know what I mean? I feel like it should be a little bit darker. That's how I feel about this whole game. I feel like it should all be darker than it has been, especially the previous area, the undead.
Look at how bright and glowy that guy is.
Yeah.
He's a sparkly now. Give me a...
Beacon of twinkling titanite.
All I'm gonna say is it's worth what I paid for it, but I wanted it to be better.
Those little firefly effects. That shit's cool, and I like that mist.
Well, that may be the ambient lighting. I'm not sure.
That's one thing about my version of the game, Prepare to Die, is even with those two mods, I have a hard time getting all that shit in the background to look good.
Well, they have to blur it out, and I feel like they're doing a better job, but there is still like a haze, but it looks good. Like, it looks realistic.
I mean, like, where it's dark, there's no definition. It's like a chunk of pixels in my game.
Oh, I got you.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, well, yeah. And the thing about that, the first game was a lot darker. Like, even just this area, for sure.
Mm-hmm. And I kind of like
man.
that better. I'm not going to lie. It kind of has a different feel to the game.
Yeah.
Like, this one doesn't feel as, like, oppressive and dark. And it definitely doesn't have, like,
I'm going to reserve judgment, too, though, because
depressing vibe with some
I've
of the
watched,
earlier areas.
There's a bonfire in there, but I never need it, so... Anyway, but I've watched some footage, and I've played through it, but I haven't watched the Catacombs of the Giants.
That area.
On PC.
Okay.
I went through it on the remaster on the 4, and I did not like how that game looked at all.
Yeah.
It did not look this good.
And that could be because of all the effects of the PS4.
Well, yeah. There's things that are going to be taken away on a console version, especially to get 60 frames per second. Like, conceptions will have to be made. Especially
with a game like this, with how massive it is and how much has to load all at once in successive order.
Come on, Hal. Come on, buddy.
Yeah. 418.
I'm holding my shield up, but I think if he hits me, he's just gonna fucking womp me to death, so it doesn't really matter. But I like my shield. Fuck ya. My shield saved my life so many times, man, you don't even know! It's my shield. I will use it if I please.
Well, are you a knight or not? Jesus Christ. Knights use shields. Oh my god.
Alright, now we're gonna go down here. I might as well equip that since I don't have the Ring of Favor. Oh, I do have it, but
it is a fantasy. Are you not gonna use the
Look
sword?
Look at that. That immediately makes me light roll. Do I have a head? I don't even have a headpiece yet. But so this is an instance when I will use the bow to pull. There's a lot of instances where...
Now you're Robin Hood.
I'm Little John.
You're not Little John.
Yeah, I am.
You're not taking them on.
Friar Tuck.
You're not taking them on with a fucking...
Friar Tuck.
You're not taking them on with a two-handed stick.
Come on, motherfucker.
Come on. I'll get you with my stave.
Fucking, those guys look good. It looks pretty good. But goddammit, why didn't you just fucking recreate it and add a bunch of cool new shit or switch up the mob placement so it felt like I was playing a brand new game? That'd be cool. Because right now it feels like I'm playing a newer version of a game that I've got over 400 or 500 hours.
I'm gonna make a complaint with this area. As good as all that shit in front of the lake looks, that water of that lake is so fucking bright.
Look at this guy, dude. Like, look at how good he looks, man.
Well, yeah, these guys
can't deny it. They got like all sorts of more crystals in them.
I like how that.
They almost looked like ice fuckers in the first one. Now they look like proper crystal golems, dude.
Yeah.
And that's another thing. We got to assume that these guys working for Seath, right?
Well, they're crystals.
And they're guarding the Hydra.
And not only that, but all the enemies in Sen's Fortress were working for Seath because Seath's in the Duke's archives in
There's
the
another
prison.
one that likes to hide over there.
The snakes are his prison guards.
So the Hydra will start shooting on you when you get in close. And you want to avoid getting hit by it because it is very hard hitting. Come on, little fella. Little canary.
Little canary,
Come on over here, little canary.
fly on over.
Come on over, say hi. Hi, bud. How are you? You gotta come down here and get him because even though they fucking remastered the game, they didn't fix his AI. And if you don't pull him, he's gonna go end up right in here like a dumb little dumb shit. But you can lead him up this if you wanted to. As you could see, I was going to. If I had moved in a little closer, I would have pulled him. That's the sort of shit I'm talking about. Like, that's the sort of shit that I really wanted to see. I wanted to see things like that not here anymore. I wanted to see, like, different enemies in this clearing. I wanted, like, a different experience, dude.
Yeah.
And instead, you sold me a $20 update patch. Thanks.
We'll get it for fucking 10 though.
Damn, nice smack.
You cheap bastards.
Yeah. It's still
We'll get it for what it's worth. $10. That's what I say. That's what I say about Dark Souls 2 as well. Like,
yeah.
I got it for what I wanted to get it for.
Yeah.
$10 fucking dollars.
Yeah. That's not a bad deal at all.
Yeah.
But my whole deal
Dark
is...
Souls 3, I got it for what I paid for it. $30.
I'm bummed.
I knew it was going to be a big game that I played for a long time, and that's not bad of a price.
Well, I know, yeah, but, like, I'm bummed about it because I wanted it to happen because it's like, he's done.
Oh, yeah.
It. So why not give it, but I think he truly believes
I
that
think
Dark
he
Souls
didn't
3...
want to do any more after. I don't even think he wanted to do Dark Souls 3, dude. I think after
No, I
this
think
one,
he did,
was
dude.
done.
Dark Souls 3 is a masterfully crafted game. It's just that it's the conglomeration of the first two games fused into one. So you have all the best parts of Dark Souls 1 in it, but sadly you have a lot of things that were perceived to be the best things in a Dark Souls 2 put in it too. And that's why, I mean, there's a lot of people that I'm sure are absolutely happy with it. I loved the experience. I mean, I'm sure I'll play it again at some point and want to play through it again. But there's a level of frustration that comes from that game and this feeling of, like, non-mastery, like, impossible to master. Because the way it's meant to be played is with fucking two other people. You know what I mean? Like...
Right.
So it never feels like, I feel like, oh, I can master this game. When he gets down to one head, he's a little prick.
This is the one he's bait you with.
Yeah, he tries to bait you close to the edge because this pool here is not as it seems. I probably could have hit him right there. I'm gonna try to fucking get a hit on him.
It looks like he's coming in
See,
closer.
but right there, look at that. So where he lands is so close to that. It's so, and you can barely see it.
Because of how bright it is.
Yeah, dude, that makes that a lot harder to see. I can't even perceive. There it is, I think.
Yeah, right
Am I at it?
You're at it.
You prick. I'm trying to fucking critique this game right now. I'm not gonna go for it. I don't want to risk it. I cannot make out where that edge is in this version with that light.
Yeah. It makes all this water way too bright. Whereas in Dark the original, it's darker, so that, like, the darkness
it makes
of
for a
that...
nicer, like, presentation on him where he is, like, in that kind of blast from the light cutting through the mountain pass.
Right, but it kind of fucks with that visual cue because in the Prepare to Die edition, that rock is solid
Oh, yeah,
black.
that's very hard to see.
And then
I don't even want to risk doing it.
Yeah,
I mean,
like-
I can see it now, but when I'm looking down at it, it's harder to see.
Yeah.
From on high. Mm-hmm. Like, if that makes sense. Right now, I can see it. It's right there.
Yeah, it's in front of you a couple
But
feet.
it's still, like, I don't trust it. I'll
Yeah.
just pick him away, like, screw him. I'm here to get a huge boost of souls and to grab Princess Dusk, and then I'm out of here. I'm never coming back. So.
Die now, you swine!
Well, I mean, I'll come back, just not on this character.
Yeah. But this waterfall looks really cool.
Yeah.
I like how that looks, but once again, that green, I feel like
the water effects are definitely looking on point better, yeah. But they still look kind of cheap. Once again,
that rock, it's too neon. It's too bright green.
That color right? Off the lake, though, dude, and with those fireflies going off over there, that looks good, dude.
Yeah.
This game looks pretty good.
I feel like that could be darker.
So the dumb part here is, this is one of the things that Matthew Matosis has often brought up in all of the games, but it's where you have to quit the game in order to do something important, or leave the entire area, or die and return, and it's like, this is the fastest way to do it. Mm-hmm. And it's silly that they put in these parts where they want the player to actively leave the game, or incentivize them to. Whether that was intended or not, that should have been noticed that, okay, well, they can just quit out and come back in. Is that a choice that we really want to make? But then, right. You know, I don't know what's the alternative. Just have him summon in. I'm sure you could have done that. Just have him spawn in, not on reload, but just when you kill the Hydra.
Right.
Just have him be here. Like, that's the thing. Like, why is he not here until after you kill the Hydra and come back? Mm-hmm. After a reload or a death. But yeah, that's one thing that Matthew Matosis is a great critic. Like, he notices things that, and he makes you smarter. And that's how Mahler is too, and I feel like that's how Red Letter Media is. I feel like that's the mark of a true critic, is not only catching those little things that other people may not catch in their playthrough and explain the problem they're in, is also to be able to make the audience understand what that is and make them more intelligent as a cause of explaining the problem.
Right.
And Matthew Matosis does that excellently. Mahler does, Red Letter Media does, GG Man does, AVG. No, not AVG. He's more of a comedic sort of, but
ACG.
ACG. There you go. Carrick.
The bearded shaman of gaming.
Yeah. And that's why Jim Sterling covers only the business end of it, because he's a shit gamer.
Crap gamer.
Yeah, fuck that guy too. Fuck all of them, dude. Fucking little fuck, dude. Basically making a living off of being an overdramatic baby. And like, I'm so glad that I realized that, because that was kind of the way my channel, when it was just me doing it before you came in, like I really, like, I was getting to this point where I was just ranting about things that frustrated me to the nth degree, because it was more engagement from online audiences.
Right.
Which is depressing, but yeah. That's the way it was.
Oh, yeah.
And I saw myself doing that, and it was in the wake of the Cuphead thing, which I still feel like, fuck them, dude. Like, they say they're not claiming videos, they're obviously claiming videos.
Yeah.
And then they tell me, we won't claim your video, and then they claim our fucking co-op playthrough after the fact. Like, seriously, fuck them.
Yeah.
But in the wake of that, of like, that fucking frustration of that whole deal with Dean Takahashi and all that shit, I was just like, I'm not gonna give a fuck anymore.
Yeah.
Like, I don't care. I think that at this point...
I moved on!
Yeah. And I think at this point, that's Ulasil. Princess Ulasil from Dusk.
Princess Dusk from Ulasil.
Yeah, that's what it is. Princess Ulasil from Dusk. Yeah. Whoops. So many people's brains just
about
went,
all that shit, though, with the fucking Cuphead, it's like... if a fucking...
I'm just gonna spur and get this.
If you're bad at your job, eventually you will no longer have that job.
Well, yeah, and also your audience, your job is one that relies upon an audience.
Oh,
if you are fake, superficial, whatever, like, you're gonna have a similar audience.
But that's true for
or you're gonna sink and fail.
Right, but that's true for every walk of life. You know, if you want to be a garbage man, you know,
yeah.
and you decide to not pick up the garbage for like fucking 6 months.
Yeah, dude. And then when people call you out on it, you tell them because they're alt-right.
And
that's
racist.
why they're bitching at you for not picking up the garbage.
It's like, dude, just do your fucking job.
These guys are clearly just racist.
Like, what the fuck?
Yeah, dude. It's not that I'm lazy and don't know how to pick up garbage properly. These guys are racist.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, like, but that's the thing. I don't care. Like, fuck him, whatever. I'm just saying, like...
I just felt like
at that point, in the wake of that, I made a huge deal out of that, and I feel like, in hindsight, I shouldn't have. I should have just mentioned it and talked about it and been like, yeah, it's funny.
Well, another
But
thing
I got personal because it's a frustration of... This guy doesn't even know how to follow simple fucking instructions in a 2D side-scroller. This is like this is my mother's milk of my love of gaming, you know? This is what I was fucking weaned on.
Right.
And you're getting paid for this that I would love to be making a living off of this. Like, that's my fucking absolute 100% fucking dream.
Right.
And you're living it. And you're writing articles about the luxury economy where you get to fuck off and play video games and make a living doing it. And then you can't even follow basic instructions. Like, come the fuck on, man.
But not only that, but it's also a reflection of the state of the industry at this point in time, where it's not just
it's
him.
A dog and
it's
fucking
all
pony
of them.
show. Yeah, it's a
you
dog
know,
and fucking pony show.
they're all that way. That's why they all love those games where they play them for 4 hours like, yep, I can write an article now.
Yep, I can write an article or review on this game.
I'm informed enough. I've got a college degree.
I'm informed enough to do a review on this game that I've played for 4 hours and give it a score that will affect the business behind the game.
I got a college degree in political journalism. Now I'm working for IGN writing about 2D side-scrollers because there's not enough jobs in that industry for me to fucking
this is the epitome, in my opinion, of what Dark Souls is all about. Is this little... Sorry, cut you off.
Oh, you're good.
But this is like... I've thought this while I'm here. Is like... Because my first time here, I immediately went for the shiny, and I was punished for it by 3 of these tree enemies coming out and attacking me. Once I returned, they were no longer like this. But on my next playthrough, they were like this. And I was like, can I hit them? And you absolutely can. And the game rewards you for having knowledge.
Smack it!
And that's why I love it. And that's why I kind of wish that they had fucking remixed this.
Right.
In a way. Is because, like, this is the first time I'm playing through this version of the game on PC. I did so on the PS4, but it was over a weekend and I barely remember it. So, I'm getting achievements playing this version right now. You're seeing that happen. And I know where everything is. And that's what's disappointing, is I'd rather have been able to step into an unfamiliar game that was familiar in geography, but unfamiliar with enemy placements. Maybe you add a few new items, and just leave it with the openness of the whole thing, because that's one of my favorite things about it, is how many areas that one can go to from the jump, and the order doesn't matter, and you're free to just sort of carve your own path up to a point, because of course you must kill the gargoyles, and of course you must kill Quelaag, but it's still like what you do in the meantime, how you chart your course, that's entirely up to you. Like, someone else at this point may be going into the depths. Someone else at this point may be going into the catacombs and, pushing to get the Rite of Kindling because they feel more comfortable with 20 flasks than they do with 10.
Right.
And that's the great thing, is there's all of these different ways. You see that fucking one shot?
Crunch.
You see that fucking one shot,
Whack-a-mole!
And to think that this place and this placement and this enemies, I've dived here so many times. And that's why I love Dark Souls. Because you come back and you're like, I ain't fucking scared no more. I'm fat tuck now. I know some stuff. You better watch out, because guess what? I'm coming for you.
Fried Tuck, Mr. McFuck.
Fried Tuck McFuck is coming for you. Fucking big bad knights. Y'all's is jokes. This looks like shit. That looks like shit compared to the other fucking version that I have. Look at that color line on this wood. What is this even? Is it mud? Is it clay? Like, I can't tell. Rough stone? If it's stone, why does
Why
it
are
not
there,
have
like,
moss around the
jutted
edges? Like,
stones
like, who's walking through here constantly wearing all of it down? It
Right.
just, and in the other game, it looks more blended because it's all much darker.
You can't really
So
see
it looks
that
completely
color
different. This
of
is
the
one
ground.
of the
It's
this
just
is one
dark.
of the areas that I remember thinking like this game does not look good, and that's why I said Dark Root
I'm not
Garden.
gonna lie. I like
a lot of the Dark Root
Okay,
Garden.
here's the thing about the Darker Garden, as of me like watching you go through it, is I really like the foliage, like the flora, the stuff that they added to
Yeah,
it.
yeah.
I like the vines that they
Those
added.
flowers and how they kind of they sway.
Yeah, and on the rocks, those little lines,
Well,
how
look
they
at
look
that
like
too.
vines
Like, look at
or
that
roots.
separation from that. Like,
Yeah, yeah.
it's just
It
this
looks-
yeah. There's certain places that just
But
you
all
can
I'm gonna
really
say
see
is,
the blemishes of the old girl.
From the area of a whole, I really don't care for how bright the green is. I think it should be more of a toned down, darker green. You know what
Yeah.
I mean? Instead of neon green, like once again with the Undead Parish, or Undead Burg, what was it? Up top with the fucking, whatever the fuck, the intro game, the party game?
The Undead Asylum?
No.
Like where you start or the next
No,
area?
like
the
after
Burg?
filing the Burg. Was
Yeah.
it the Burg or the? It
It's
might
the
have been the
Undead.
Parish.
It might be Parish. Burg is actually no, that's Lower Undead Burg, ain't it?
Lower end. I don't know.
I think it's the Undead Burg and then Lower
One of
Undead
those-
Burg, bro.
Either way. That area.
Yes. You did not like the way it looked.
I
there.
didn't like how the colors popped on the stone. It was like neon green.
Yeah,
and
well, there
bright
and
yellow.
it feels like there's some more shadow going on here.
And
but
another thing is those flowers look really bright, whereas in
yeah,
they
they're
were
subtle.
toned down.
They
and
looked
more,
like the same as an
they
item.
looked like items, yeah.
And I almost think that was what they were
they
meant
were
to.
intended
Yeah.
to look like. off
Because
in
they
the
can lead you,
distance.
if you follow them blindly, they can lead you to some tricky ambush spots, especially in the greater Dark Root Garden, which we'll do when we do Sif. Come on! No,
Will you whack it?
you little prick. Your time is
Fucking
over.
Whack it?
It's my time now. Friar Tuck McFuck has come to town, and it's time for you all to die. So just kindly do me a favor and die now.
Kindly do me a favor,
Die
leaf
now.
tree people.
Die now! Friar Tuck McFuck has come to town. Friar Tuck McFuck got his helmet too. But it's gonna set me at fat. How about
Mid-roll.
that?
Mid-roll.
Still mid-roll.
Not bad. Could be worse.
It's not bad, and I'm gonna use it because I want to have a little, and I'll get there to where this will be fine.
Right.
And I'm not too worried because I'm pretty much a tank right now anyway, so going a little slow isn't the worst thing in the world.
Mm-hmm.
Friar Tuck McFuck's a little fat. And he's got to walk a little slowish, and that's okay.
A little sluggish.
Because look at that honky tonk. That song, can I just tell you? Forever.
I hate
Forever,
that.
eternally. Fuck you, Trace Adkins.
Yeah.
Fuck you. Fuck you. Fuck you.
Country ain't
And
my
all your
bag,
fans,
man.
too. Sorry if anyone in the room
No,
likes
country
Trace
ain't.
Adkins. but fuck
Country
him.
is not our cup of tea.
I hate the vast majority of country, but I like some country. Like I like Chris Ledoux, and I will say that I like. Is it George Brooks? George Brooks.
Garth Brooks.
Garth. How the fuck am I gonna forget Garth?
Fucking Garth.
I was like George Brooks, and I'm like that's like George Bush. What
George
the fuck is
Bush.
going on in my brain right now? How did I fucking get that into there? What the fuck is going on? Anyway, Garth Brooks, and people will tell you that makes me dumb, and I like trash country, but I like Garth Brooks. I think it's fun. I think it's fun. Fuck you. I think it's fun.
I think.
And it's not the honky tonk but donkey donk. And it's not
I think
fucking...
he has some uppity rock songs.
He has some poor songs too.
But
like-
there's some really, really slow
Yeah.
ones. I'm not a fan of the
Well,
super
yeah.
slow ones, the sappy love
Well, yeah.
songs. But I do
But how
like all of
about
the...
bring me 2 pina coladas, Cheem?
That one's alright.
One for each hand.
Well, yeah.
One for each hand, Cheem. Let's see if they fix this Moonlight Butterfly, because this Moonlight Butterfly was incapable of attacking summons in the version of the game I last played. Oh shit. I better hurry and get one of these off. This is a boss that can one-shot with this spell right there.
Another.
But Beatrice, there you
Real
go.
quick
So let's
trail.
see if she attacks
Hey.
Beatrice. Let's see if she fixed it. They didn't.
Nope.
She immediately, those veered towards me. Oh no. Oh no!
Gold. Don't let it do it! Oh! Oh!
It's a vicious cycle! It's what the butterfly wants, man!
This is the butterfly
Dude,
effect.
Beatrice killed it. I didn't
A.
even get a chance to hit it.
Fucking A.
You rock, Beatrice.
Badass as shit, lady.
White mages are badass as shit, bro. Just kidding. She's a witch, but she's cool. You can summon her for the Four Kings, and then you get her armor, and I really love her hat. I'm a huge fan of that big witch hat.
Yeah.
On my female characters.
But yeah, real quick to talk about country real quick. The new stuff is like a mix between dubstep and techno
It's
rap.
crap.
And
It's crap. I can't stand it for more than 2 seconds. I hate it all.
I'm just like, why?
So what's the deal? What the deal with this guy?
Alright,
'Cause he looks just like Andre.
And that's what's so interesting about this. And this is why I like kind of got curious and I, asked Google, God, in our Google age.
Yeah, because there's many of these
asked
blacksmiths
God.
throughout the world. That,
Yeah. And I asked Google, I was like, hey Google, what's up with all these things in Dark Souls 1? And
Yeah.
I found like this description about Titanite Slab mentions that there was a blacksmith god, and when the blacksmith god died, his body broke into chunks, and that's actually like the Titanite slabs.
Oh, the Titanite demons?
The Titanite slabs.
Oh, the slabs, okay.
Right, and then this is like, the rest of this is all speculation and lore theory, but I also read this thread where this guy was saying that the blacksmith god was creating blacksmith sons in his image.
Okay.
There were, I think, 4 or 5, I want to say.
You probably come across them all in the game.
Right, yeah.
Because there are more of those guys that look just like Andre that...
But another thing is this guy was speculating that the Titanite demons were also created by the blacksmith god.
Oh, okay.
But in this theory, he details the fact that the blacksmiths had the power, the embers, and united to take out the gods. And so
there was like a blacksmith rebellion sort
well,
of
there
deal?
was a blacksmith set at every single different city, and so it was set up for the Way of the White and the pilgrimage that the undead chosen one would be able to reach these different blacksmiths. Yeah. But they would reach these different blacksmiths and have them upgrade their weapons and ultimately lead them to have a weapon to kill the gods.
Okay. And so that's what Andre's purpose is, to give you a weapon strong enough to kill the gods.
Yeah.
Alright.
And so that's collectively what the blacksmith's purpose was.
You bring the embers to him and it allows him to perform certain things. The divine ember will let him sanctify a weapon and give it holy damage, scale with faith.
Exactly. And there's a blacksmith back there in a darker garden up on the wall, and guarding it is the moonlight butterfly. And it's not so much guarding it as that is pretty much a victim of the moonlight butterfly.
Is that what it is? Did he kill him? Because I don't know, dude. It looks like that could have happened way before, because they seem to be petrified. But is that the thing? Does the dark moon butterfly cause petrification? Because I thought the only ones that could cause petrification is Seath the Scaleless and Basilisks.
You see.
So maybe Seath paid the old blacksmith a visit because he doesn't want to get killed. And here's my theory. Back to that real quick.
I think he's killing them off.
Yes.
He has been simultaneously killing them off.
Yes, and I'll get that later because we're not gonna... You could do this pretty early, but I'm not gonna do it that early. That is actually, if you want to do the proper dark ending to the game, the proper way to do that is by going there early and killing Sif and then going to the Four Kings. But we'll talk about that later. But the thing about it is, the coup, could it have all been banking on the Witch of Izalith's Chaos Flame replacing his fire?
The Age of Fire.
Yeah, would it be her fire? Maybe they're banking on it, giving them the power.
Well, that's the question. Is like, if Seath is causing all these, or throwing all these wrenches in the gears of the undead pilgrimage, then why would he not want the flame kindled?
That's a good question.
You know, like, it just is going to sustain his life. Unless he wants to die.
Seath?
Because of his guilt of betraying the
So
dragons.
here's my theory.
Who knows?
And this, I don't know if this is true or not, but this is my theory. My theory is that Seath, Nito, and Nito may not even have been involved. I don't know. But I know that Frant introduces Seath the Scaleless as Gwyn's former confidant, suggesting that he was no longer his confidant at a certain point. And then the fact that the Chaos Flame is there. It's real. Like, that's the Witch of Islip. That's who you kill, is the Chaos Flame. The question about
the former confidant thing is that could be referred to like he cut him off from being his confidant, or he no longer needed a confidant
because he went to burn. Yeah, it could. But I'm saying, like, I think that they were banking on and that's why their souls are required to open it, because they locked him in there.
Right.
Like, they locked him and all his knights in there to burn them.
Kindle the flame.
Yeah, because they couldn't take him on, and that was their way to get him out of the way, to usurp power, not only in Anor Londo, which Seath the Scaleless has clearly done, but also to usurp the power of the very world and usher in an age of chaos fire.
Right.
And that's what I believe. Anyway, that's just one of those little theories we have. We'll be delving more into that later. Thanks for watching, guys. We're going to stop here. We come back, we'll be doing Lower Undead Burg, the Capra Demon, and then we'll go into the depths all the way to the... What is that dragon name?
The Gaping Dickhole.
The Gaping Dragon, which I have a theory about him, too. I think he's like a blend of demon and dragon. That maybe is something that the Witch of Islip and Seath are working on, kind of trying to blend things and create life. Because another thing about Seath the Scaleless is his soul is mirrored in Dark Souls 3 by Ocelot. And Ocelot, the whole deal has been trying to figure out how to turn into a dragon to bring the dragons back. And the thing about the dragons is, there's a lot of fucking dragons around Lordran for them being wiped out. And they seem to be in places wide open, and no one's stopping them doing anything about it. And it's even the case in Ulasil when you travel in the past for the DLC, which we'll be doing. Anyway, I love Dark Souls Repatchered game all night. What do you think, Chubbs? You good?
Yeah, I'm good.
Alright, guys. Fucking love you. Thanks for staying to the end. We'll see you next week for another episode. Till then, stay awesome, everybody.